Breaker Broke 23. So today we're going to put together a couple Colman mini bikes for the boys. Okay, so the mini bike comes mostly built. So all we have to do here after we get rid of the box is basically put the front forks together, the wheel, and the front fender on that. So that's how she comes out of the box. And I do understand somewhere down here is actually a toolkit. So first of all, I see on the interweb that people have a lot of damage from shipment. I got something there, but you know, considering they're like 100 and some odd pounds, 110 pounds or so shipping weight, and they do come UPS, so far so good, doesn't look too bad. So let's start tearing into this. Okay, I found the toolkit. It's in the bottom of the box, so let's see what we've got here. Okay, actually I need my glasses. Okay, so we have 8 and 10 millimeter, 12 and 14, 13, 16, 17, and 19, and another 19 and 17, which is kind of cool. They actually thought about that when you put on that front axle. You need two 19 millimeters, so that was a good idea. Okay, so they already come on kind of like a pallet. Okay, so you just undo the straps and then pull the top of the box off, and it's pretty easy to get to. So everything's already strung. The brake cable, throttle, already set up. So what we got to do is untwist tie the forks down here, and we'll put those on. They already have the setup here. So when you put your forks on, don't forget to put these washers in. You have to have the washers in, or it'll wear on the fork material right there. Okay, so on a lot of like old school mini bikes, you just put the bolt through the neck here, and it's just kind of a metal to metal deal. One thing I thought was kind of impressive is they actually have sealed bearings in here. Not really a high quality unit, but they do have a sealed bearing punched in there, so I kind of didn't expect that. That's cool. Okay, so it doesn't show it on the box or even on the instruction manual, but they added this plate, and I think this is a plate to make the rack a little more rigid. And they have the holes here and here to put on the gooseneck assembly, or on the neck assembly here. But here's a couple things. If you omit this piece and just go to put the washer up in here and then the lower washer, as you'll notice, the hardware here, this washer is actually too thick, so it's actually not even gonna go in there. So you can do a couple things. Okay, you can get out a BFH and pound this down a little bit, and if you don't know what a BFH is, go look it up. But you can see right here, see, look at that. That's not going to happen. Or you can go to your parts bin and maybe source a thinner washer, because that's a pretty thick washer. So you could source a thinner washer for the top or for the bottom, but you're going to have to do that. Or you can just beat the hell out of that with a hammer, and I wouldn't do that, but that's me. Now, another thing with this, you put this piece on here, the way they wrap these cables around the neck here, this is going to actually rub into those cables and interfere. So for right now, I'm going to shit can this, and what we're going to do is we're going to go up and get up to the parts box, and we're going to get a thinner washer, and we're going to put this assembly together. And what I'm thinking real quick here is, once I get this thing done, I'm actually going to pull these handles off. All right, I'm going to reroute these cables so they're not quite so tight. This is going to stretch cables and interfere with stuff. I can't believe they did that. All right. Okay, so we solved the washer issue. So here's what it is. It comes with these thick washers. Okay, come on, camera. Okay, and what I did is I went and sourced some of these thinner ones. Same hole size, just thinner. Actually, they're about half the thickness of the OEM washer. And what happened was is when you try to put 2 of the thick OEM washers in, there's not enough room. So what we did is I went with 1 thick one, 1 thin one, and it's absolutely perfect. If you tried to put the 2 thin ones in, you actually have too much play. So 1 thick, 1 thin, that addresses the fork issue. All right, let's put the fender on. All right, we're putting the front fender on. Are you happy now? All right. Okay. All right, so the front wheel on. Okay, so I've seen quite a few people put these kits together and they've had issues with the front forks getting bent. Mine did not. This axle assembly actually comes installed, so I do believe that helps it from getting messed up. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it up off that tire, and we are going to mount that the front tire. Okay, front wheel's on.
Yep.
Looking good. So now what we need to do is the chain guard. But I want to show you how this looks first, okay? We've got a nice little tensioner right there. That looks like a fairly light duty clutch, so we'll probably have to upgrade that clutch. And kind of a sort of a small jack shaft action there. All the rear is already assembled. So next thing we're going to do is put the clutch cover on and throw some oil and some fuel in here. And we'll give her a shot. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we've got it together. Did a quick walk around just checking things out before we put oil and fuel in it. And then noticed that this is crooked, like severely crooked. As you can see, looking down from the top, it is veering off quite a bit. So I am going to, game plan is I'm going to loosen these, might have to go down and loosen the axle bolts, and then hopefully we can kind of give her a tweak clockwise. Okay, so this is a pretty easy issue to take care of. So what we did is we loosened that. It's a 10 millimeter on the head, 13 millimeter on the nut. Same thing over here, 13 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 10, 10, and 13s are right in there. So what I did is I just loosened these 4, one on each side, and then these 2 here, and then I left the axle nuts alone. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to have to obviously use 2 hands for this, but this loosened it up enough to where as I can straighten this up, which I've already kind of done. But what I need to do is I'm going to get down on my knees here, and I'm going to get some leverage, and I'm going to pull this side out, push that side that way. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we have that fixed. So the rear rack is straight. I'm not really quite sure if I'm going to put the front rack on it. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. But anyway, everything else seems to be pretty good. So we are going to put some oil and some fuel in it. But one thing that I noticed here, which I knew these things were made in China because they've got the Honda clone type motor on it. But this is manufactured by Xunjiang Science and Technology Industrial Company Limited. It actually has a VIN number and a date of manufacture. So today is like June 10th, and this thing, 2017, and this was made January 17th of 2017. So fresh inventory. Pretty cool. I've seen people complain about this plastic clutch cover, and there's nothing wrong with this. This is going to be just fine. Just leave it alone. I mean, it doesn't need to be modified, replaced, or anything like that. This is in great shape. Decent foot pegs, so your feet really aren't going to hug this anyway. So no need to be afraid of it. Nothing's going to happen to you. It's kind of a non-issue. And that's a high sun motor. Again, made in Chongqing, Dang, freaking fucking China. So there you go. All right, let's get this thing running. Okay, so we put oil in it, filled it up with clear unleaded premium, and she started right up. Checked all modes and functions, and oh yeah, and installed the front rack. So it is good to go. So there it is, the Colman CT 200U. Really easy to assemble. It wasn't all beat up. We just had a couple scratches. That one right there. Let's see. We had one on the fork somewhere. Oh, right here on the forks. But all in all, pretty clean. Came out really good. All right, there it is. Let's go ride. Thanks for watching.